on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see through sight, speaking for help, speaking for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I'm gonna try to see if I bleed tonight, if I exist tonight. I don't have the time to fight, and if I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight. I'm falling asleep when I'm home, when I'm alone. No way to go, no one that can see through that side of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Was out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the start of hell. But when I stop to see through sight, speaking for help, speaking for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among us.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Turnbuckle Studios and the Boar's Nest bring to you our weekly Raw Preview Review show. I am your host, OMD. I am joined, as always, by the right hand of the Boar's Nest, the Bulkster. How we doing, brother?
Doing great, brother. Enjoying the time to be able to get on here and talk some wrestling with you. And thanks for having me. And like I said, I enjoy when I can get on here to reminisce about wrestling and talk about wrestling. It's always good to talk about.
We're always excited to have you here. We know you had Family Day last week, so, we always encourage that as well. Bubba Duke is working the shoot job tonight, so that's why he's not here. Now, we've got a lot to cover and not a lot of detail. So let's start with the review last week, where we had Sheamus defeating Pete Dunne.
Yes, was a really hard-hitting match. Very interesting. I caught a lot of it. I thought the finish was unique, with them getting caught, his arm being caught in the turnbuckle, and between that, and then he just ripping it off like he's some kind of beast, and just instant bro kick. It was kind of out of nowhere, like, wow, I can't believe they finished it like that. But the whole match was just hard hitting. I mean,
Right.
They were so bruised up after the end of that. It was crazy.
Yes. All right. First off, big shout out. Thank you for joining us, Bobby Stats. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Yes,
I'm
thank
with
you.
you. This match, to quote the man Sheamus, this was a bang.
Yes.
And yeah, very quick brogue kick out of nowhere to end it. I absolutely loved this match and how it started. Very European strong style. And you could see it. I had Pete Dunne initially winning because he needed to build some momentum for NXT the next night.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. He lost. Now, what do you do with him now? Does he stay in NXT and do that? Go through the roster there a little bit, have some few feuds there.
I don't think he needs it.
I know. I just don't know where he's going to be placed in. I mean, they could put him in the IC title run,
Right.
but we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see where they go. I admittedly, we know he's got his growing feud with Trick Williams.
Yes, that's true.
So I think we're going to see that probably at No Mercy and then go from there.
Yeah. I like how they're using these wrestlers in both platforms, NXT and the WWE. You see it more so WWE guys going to NXT, then you see NXT going to the main roster, which is understandably, it brings star power to NXT that people are related to,
Right.
and hopefully bring eyes to NXT and get them to start watching. And I think, like I said, I think it will work over time. I don't know. I don't keep track of the stats of what they're bringing as in like viewership, but I have a feeling it works in their favor.
Oh, it absolutely does. Ratings, demographics, and all of that. That's all stuff that we have discussed a multitude of times on Turnbuckle Talk, and we really don't find that those ratings matter because you've got people with PVRs, so you can always PVR it and watch it another time. The ratings battle is going to come up again in a couple of weeks when Raw goes head to head with Monday Night Football. So I don't ever worry too much about the TV ratings because those ratings may be established for one night, but it's not going to give you the overall picture until the end of the week when people have watched.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, as for Sheamus, like I said, he's gonna keep. I don't know. Like I said, I think they can still keep them fighting. I just don't know. I don't know what. It's just an ongoing feud. They or these matches aren't going to end in any like big way. I don't see.
No, and I don't think this is a feud you need to keep going. I had looked at this for the Intercontinental title tournament as well, and I said easily there are 6 guys you can put in right off the bat, and you may need to run an elimination chamber because you've got Sheamus, Dunn, Kaiser, Jay. As much as he's had his matches for it, Sami Zayn could go back in.
I wouldn't mind seeing Sheamus get his IC title, like championship,
right.
To become a Grand Slam champion.
Right. I'm 100% with you there. Then we had what was a surprisingly good match in something that I'm sure we probably both considered a throwaway match in the New Day with Odyssey Jones against the Final Testament.
Yes, like I said, I know the last time I was here on Turnbuckle doing anything with Raw Review, New Day was far from exciting, but Odyssey Jones has brought new life to that team. I think for being a big guy, he's very pumped, very jacked. He's kind of like I would say he's a mixture of Big E and Mojo Rawley.
Okay. I can definitely see it.
He stays hyped. And I mean, his movement in the ring, everything, and then you have the little bit of drama sprinkles in between with Xavier and his looks and his side eyes, and right. Is he on board? Is he warming up? Is he just there's so many teases of a swerve of him, might be turning, but I don't know. I just don't know where he would go as a heel turn at this point with this. If he did a heel turn, he would have to have a co-partner to help him, unless he joins the Final Testament.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be a thing. I think it would just be turn heel, but he would need to have a co-partner to face Odyssey and them. So if he did turn heel, he would have to have somebody to be his lackey or somebody to step up and be his tag partner.
Yes. And I don't think we're going to see it. I had Odyssey Jones turning last week and joining the final test. But I do think that as Odyssey Jones grows and improves, I know he's been on the main roster for well over a year, and that we've only just started to see him.
Yep. And I always said, where the hell is Odyssey Jones? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, there, Volksers.
You and our friend Mr. Chris Best. But I also think that if you turn Odyssey heel, that takes away the idea of an Odyssey versus Bronson Reed match.
Yes. And I also think that, and that's the first thing I was thinking when you said about thinking about I was like, or Odyssey turning. I was like, man, we already have one big guy monster that's a heel. We need to have a good guy monster besides Braun Strowman to be like, maybe not the same build, but he is heavyweight, super heavyweight, I guess you would say.
Right.
As a counterpart. And that would be a crazy match of the big men there. I don't think that has to happen right away. It'll happen occasionally down the road, maybe.
Right.
Right now, I feel he's building momentum. Odyssey Jones is becoming this face, energetic, getting over with the fans.
Yeah.
I think fans are feeling his excitement. And Kofi's pumping him up, which Kofi's really relatable to the fans. That it's one of these things where I think right now, but like I said, I don't know what they're going to. Is this the end of the road with them in Final Testament? Is this? I know they might have some mixtures, but as a faction versus faction, is this done, or are we going to continue it further?
I really hope it's done, because it's not something that we need to continue.
I mean, how many times does Final Testament need to lose?
And I hate to say it because of the history and the tag team clinics that these two teams, but it's almost getting to be New Day Uso-esque.
Yeah. Very much so.
Just no titles involved. Next up, sorry, I gotta call this list back up here. Bronson Reed and The Miz in a no DQ match.
Yes, that one was really good. Like I said, Bronson Reed, incredible athlete, incredible. The way they're pushing and the way he's able to bring that into the ring and articulate how well he is and powerful, and his facial expressions to his movements to defying authority. You know, everything they're doing with him is like, I mean, the fans are actually rooting for him to hurt these guys.
Right.
They might boo the first one, but after he does about 3 or 4, they're all like, one more time. And
I mean, again, fantastic match. I am a huge fan of The Miz. I know there are people out there that are going to disagree with me. The fact that they brought the hardcore style back, Miz had a good showing and was able to get in offense, and a reasonable amount. It wasn't just a squash match.
Yeah.
So I'm big on this. And then you factor in Braun Strowman coming out to interfere.
Yes.
All right. So Chris Best coming in and saying that tonight it's Kofi, Karrion Kross, and Jey Uso in the #1 contenders tournament.
That was close. I knew I needed a few of those.
And did we not just touch on the New Day Uso history
Yeah.
there? So, fitting. I really wish Karrion Kross wasn't involved in this match, but if Xavier's involved in the other,
Well, I'd be okay with Karrion Kross taking a spear from Breaker.
see, I love Karrion. But
Well, maybe this is his stepping stone to be in the IC. At least he's getting a title match or an opportunity for a title match.
Right?
Maybe he can have one of his 4 helpers help him.
Right? But again, remains to be seen. But again, this match between The Miz and Bronson Reed was fantastic. And then you add in Braun Strowman coming out and making the save. When Braun Strowman, as part of the Wyatt family all those years ago, and even after that, when they had him sort of juggling between face and heel, would do the same type of thing.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's funny that they always bring up R-Truth, and then,
Yep.
he had to help. He got the Andre the Giant to help him.
Right?
It's funny how he's, I love the jokes that they do with, who knows if we're going to see Truth for a while since he got Tusami to death.
Right.
But no, the build up for Braun Strowman. Strowman needed something other than chasing Judgment Day.
Yes.
I know you weren't a fan of the whole Judgment Day running away from Bronson Strowman.
I'm not a fan of Braun Strowman.
So maybe we're going to see a different side of Strowman because I don't think he can run too much. If he's in a run, I think he can outrun Bronson Reed. So
Yeah, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Then we get the Unholy Union taking on Damage Control and Io Sky and Kairi Sane, and then Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark in a triple threat tag match for the women's tag titles.
Yes, that one was a pretty decent match. I caught little bits and pieces of it. So, like I said, I'm not. Right now, the tag division just doesn't excite me right now. At the moment, the women's side of it, and
Right.
I don't know. Pure Fusion Collective. I'm not a big fan of the name.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out what that is. And then Damage and Control. They're decent. And like I said, I'm not sold on Unholy Union yet, as in they haven't done anything to wow me to go, wow, this is a really good showing.
Right. See, and again, I don't know if you watched them at all in NXT.
I don't think I've seen them much in NXT. I watch NXT now weekly, or at least catch up on it. But when they were in NXT, I think I caught them a little bit, but they were in the transition of moving up to the main roster.
Right. Well, and it was funny because they had come together, it started with Isla Dawn interfering in a title match for Alba Fire.
Okay.
And costing her the match. I'm not sure what led to them then becoming an actual tag team.
Okay.
But they had won the women's tag titles. They then lost the NXT women's tag titles to Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler in a title unification match.
Okay.
The thing that's exciting me about Alba and Isla is they are going to all three brands and defending the belts like
Yeah,
they're
it was
supposed
cool.
to be. In this match, Shayna Baszler took the pin, which I actually did not have. I had Io Sky taking the pin for this.
Oh,
For me, Damage Control has really lost a lot of what they had with exercising Bayley from the group, Asuka's injury, now Dakota's injury. There's nothing there. It's just, for me, it's now a new version of the Kabuki Warriors.
yep.
And I don't know why, now that you've turned them baby faces, why you're keeping Dakota Kai off of TV when she did all of that work on TV as a heel, even though she couldn't compete.
Yeah.
Pure Fusion Collective, I'm not sold on the name, of course. But again, it's interesting, but I think now they have to take that step to the back of the line. They have been in and around, but they have lost every opportunity they've had. It is time for them to go to the back of the line and let somebody new step up. And whether that means you bring Natalya back now that you've re-signed her and put her back with Tegan Knox.
And we haven't seen. Wait. That could be SmackDown. I was thinking Candice and Indy, but I'm not sure if that's SmackDown or not.
Yeah, it is. Whether you do, like I said, Natalya and Tegan Knox, whether KC Squared get their title shots.
Yeah.
Whether you want to give Lyra Valkyria a partner to combat. We are getting on Saturday, we are getting the Unholy Union versus Bianca and Jade. Then, as you just suggested, Candice and Indy. So they need to start getting some of these other teams the push, not just these same four teams.
They do. Like I said, I just don't know. I mean, tag championships are rare. I mean, tag championships can be interesting when they have them in the feud, but sometimes it has become, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I was excited for a tag match for women's tag match.
Right.
And, I like new stars coming up like Isle Dawn and Abba Fire. It's just like, either I'm just missing something when I'm watching the matches. Like I said, occasionally, I try to watch Raw, but since I am watching it through streaming, it sometimes cuts out and I have to reload and find a different stream. So in the meantime, I miss something, but I catch all the PLEs. I just haven't seen anything that really.
Right. And our friend Chris Best coming in here saying he wants to see more women's teams built on NXT. We are slowly seeing that, but we're also seeing them develop all these new individual stars. So I'm actually going to be excited for when Akora Jade comes back, and now she's going to have this litany of new people to go through. I'm going to be excited when we get a team like the Fatal Influence from NXT, Jasmine Nix, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane called up.
Yeah. Whatever happened to... That's SmackDown. Never mind. I was thinking Blair. She's on SmackDown.
Yep.
But she was working with Alba, wasn't she? She was in a mixed tag or something.
I can't remember.
I think her matches is a good third member with Isla Dawn and Abba Fire.
That would be fantastic, and I would love to see it, which we actually just saw last Friday on SmackDown.
That's what I was thinking. I thought I'd seen them being a team, and I was like, they have good chemistry.
As well, there are other NXT stars right now that they've got nothing for that aren't even involved in the crossover, and I'd like to see them do something with a Gigi Dolan in that regard.
Is she injured? I haven't seen her on NXT in a while.
No, she's not. They've had nothing for her. So I was kind of hoping that maybe she'd be ready to get the call up, but who knows? Ariana Grace. She is one that I think would actually truly succeed in the crossover if she were to go to TNA.
Yeah.
Given
TNA
the fact
crossover
that,
is really cool too.
given the fact that Ariana Grace's dad works in TNA.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yes. Ariana Grace's dad's name is Santino Marella.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
That's cool. Like I said, I love that. I'm loving what they're doing with TNA and doing the crossover.
So do I. So do I. And then last but not least, our main event of the night.
Missing one. Missed Maxine Dupree versus Ivy Nile, and then we had the Wyatt Six.
Okay, Chris Best saying Gigi Dolan is injured. Last I had read, they didn't have anything for her, and that was before June. Yes, Maxine versus Ivy Nile. It wasn't listed for my review. That's why.
Oh, I must have missed it.
That's okay, but thank you for the refresher. Again, a fantastic match. Ended a little too abruptly for me. I was sort of anticipating all of that other stuff to happen after the match. But I loved the aggression right out of the gate on Maxine's part.
Yes, that was good. I was all for them to cut the lights. I was like, man, this would be a prime opportunity to have Nikki Cross. I'm thinking, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for Nikki Cross to get involved, and it was. I think it would have been better if they didn't overshadow. I mean, I know they want to build for the Chad Gable and the rest of them, but I think it'd be cool to have them individually. Like, Ivy Nile is going to be targeted by Nikki Cross, and just have her come in there and wreak havoc, and not have all the rest of the members, and then have all American Made come out, and then it was kind of okay. I mean, it's still to end up like that. It's going to end up being, Chad Gable's going to fight Uncle Howdy, but are these other teams, American Made, going to fight them again, or are we going to get Ivy Nile versus Nikki Cross as Nikki's return match? Or
you know what? And I'm with you 100%. I was just literally, I had said the same thing last week, was all we need is Nikki Cross after the match. But because we had American Made, I believe they stayed at ringside for the match, whereas Otis and Tozawa went to the back. So that's why you got everybody out there. And I do think that sort of overshadowed. I'm with you 100%. I think that the Nikki Cross would have just Nikki Cross would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe Uncle Howdy if it was Chad Gable in Ivy Nile's corner, but leave the Creeds in the back.
Yeah.
But I think, that was an oversaturated.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they're doing and everything, and I think that they need to have all the members out there to be the Wyatt Six, but each of these stars need to showcase on their own to build star power for themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to see what each one of them can do individually.
Yeah. Yeah. And now on to our main event of the evening, which was set up from the opening promo. Ludwig Kaiser and Randy Orton. And I'm going to say this in one word: masterpiece. And I ain't talking Chris Masters.
Oh shoot, yeah. It was a great match. Ludwig is very good as a solo wrestler.
Yes.
He's grown. He is a great side for Gunther. And on his own can hold his own. Of course, Randy Orton has to come out strong. He's going for the title. So, but yeah, Ludwig put it all out there and shown what he can do. And I'm looking forward to future showmanship of him to see what he can do in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am hoping that we get Ludwig Kaiser into this Intercontinental title tournament.
I agree.
And that actually brings us to tonight. So tonight, and I know we're at about the halfway point. So this being the go-home show for the Bash in Berlin, we are going to get Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman.
That's going to be a heavy-hitting match. I want to see both men show their strengths. Even though I love Bronson Reed I would love to see the monster Strowman show me that he's a monster. But maybe just barely lose. I mean, maybe have one mishap that causes him to lose.
Right.
But show that he is a monster. Maybe he lost his footing or something, and that's the moment that Bronson gets him.
Right.
I don't want it to be a squash match.
Again, I'm hearing that Braun's knees aren't in great shape and he may require more surgery. So I'm wondering if maybe you do make it a squash match if he's doing his Strowman Express and you have Bronson Reed kick the steps. Take him out, roll him back in the ring, hit him with 6 tsunamis, and just write him off.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you. I would like to see this as a big-time match.
I'd reading the preview, and I forgot all about this. I don't know if they will do that now during this match after he's doing the tsunamis with him to take him, write him off. But I forgot he's in a feud with Seth Rollins because he took him out. So when does Seth come back to get payback?
Seth will not be back until the new year.
Oh, really?
Yes, because Seth's injuries from WrestleMania are chronic and nagging.
Oh, I didn't realize I thought this was just building for a story.
I think it's building for a Bronson Reed run with something. And I think that this has to even go back to the Elimination Chamber where Bronson was originally supposed to have the title shot in Australia, but then was unable to go home for the match.
True.
So, again, Bronson Reed, another guy I would love to see in that number 1 contenders tournament.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Then, as we've already touched on, we get Chad Gable and Uncle Howdy.
Yes. And that match I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing how they how the entrance, if the entrance is going to be different, if it's just for Uncle Howdy, or if he's going to come out with his whole group like he did the first time,
Right.
or if that was just a one-off with the chair and stuff. I hope they keep it up,
Right.
and keep the chair at ringside, like rocking with the lamp
Yep.
on it, like that's like Bray's watching.
Yep. Well, and given the fact that yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of Wyndham's passing,
Yes.
and tonight, a year and a day to after.
So definitely
We get-
looking forward to seeing the entrance, to see if they do anything different. What
Yes.
is his look going to be? What's his attire going to be when he wrestles? Is he going to have some sort of mask on, like the
Right.
Fiend?
I'm wondering if we are going to get not necessarily Fiend lighting, but if we are going to have different lighting for that match as well during the match.
Yeah, that too. What is Uncle Howdy's moveset besides Sister Abigail?
Right.
Is he going to have any reminiscence of the Bo Dallas character, any of his
Right.
moveset? Or if
Right.
it's all going to be something new and methodic, maybe taking some of Bray's moveset.
Right.
They don't need to do that. I mean, I think they kind of spread them out with some of the other characters there, because, I mean, as you've seen Gacy, he does his upside down stuff. You have, I think he also does like the one clothesline that he did.
Right.
So Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, whatever he's going to be going by, Uncle Howdy. Hopefully we get a good chunk and it's not spoiled by, interference right away. Hopefully it's a good match.
Yeah.
And
I
we get to see.
I think with this match, this is not one you want to have shenanigans involved in. I think you wait until the finish.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
And it's going to be interesting to see if American Made stick around ringside, or if it's going, like you said, one-on-one.
Yep.
I think that, I don't think that they need to really incorporate a lot of Bray's old offense into Bo Dallas. I think that they can, tease it, hint at it, but you don't need to do it. Like, it would be like adding the mandible claw.
Yeah.
You don't need it. We're going to get Randy Orton appearing again because he is going for the title. So we know that this is going to be a confrontation with Gunther. Do we get another sneak attack from Kaiser like we got last week, or is this just going to be a straight up face-to-face?
For
Randy
Orton's
Orton's appearance. Yeah.
I have a feeling it'll be another face-to-face. It's going to be Randy coming out to do his talk, and then he's going to get interrupted again. And who knows, it might go right into a brawl where they have to split them up.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually leaning towards, I'd rather see them start off with Gunther talking and then Randy coming out and interrupting this time. Or with the sneak attack. So, the music hits, Orton slithers into the ring from behind and hits the RKO.
Yeah. He keeps on saying he's going to get hit with an RKO, and then he does.
Yeah. Again, and I hope they keep this segment small and short because you don't need to have this prolonged and dragged out if you've got these two going to put on an absolute clinic on Saturday in Berlin.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be building onto future stories beyond Berlin. I mean,
Yep.
it's going to tie in a lot of things. I mean, like, of course, but I think we're going to get some more stuff that's going to be announced for next Raw,
Absolutely.
and build on to other stories, mid card, load card stories that are taking place.
Yes.
Like I said, I do like that they do the women's tag team titles. They had that match on Raw, and then they have to go in and fight for the titles, which is at Berlin against SmackDown competitors, and
Right.
it's just interesting how they both one set of women's titles for both brands, and then you have tag titles have two sets of titles.
Yep.
Which I kind of wish they would have just made one set of titles for the tag titles.
I get where you're coming from, but I think the men's tag division for both brands is just stacked enough that you don't need to have,
Yeah.
or that you can do two sets. With the women's, I like the fact that they are going to all three brands now, as they were
Yeah.
supposed to in the first place. But it's a matter of, as we've alluded to, we need to develop more credible teams on NXT. We need to get some new teams on the main roster into the hunt as well, as opposed to just Damage Control, Pure Fusion Collective, Bianca and Jade.
And it'd be interesting to see the tag titles do the same thing. SmackDown and Raw's tag titles do some floating to NXT and challenging, and have NXT superstars challenging for those belts too.
You know what? I could have seen it if they had kept the belts on A-Town Down Under or DIY.
Yeah.
Because both of those teams really cut their teeth in NXT. So I could absolutely see it. But NXT has a set of belts all unto its own, except for women's tag belts.
Yeah.
And lastly, before we move over to the Raw Patrol, we get the number one contenders Intercontinental Championship tournament beginning. Now, we already know that we're going to get Jey Uso versus Kofi versus Karrion Kross. And I think in this match, this is Jey Uso winning.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's so over. A lot of the internet community is complaining because he's not doing anything big, but he's still on the show. He's still doing stuff. People always tie championships like, you ain't going for the title, you're not doing anything. That's not the case. Some of these people want to just be on TV and show what they can do and go with the flow, and they are company people that will do what's best for business.
Yes.
And right now, Jey is in a prime position. He's got the fans. He can elevate other superstars. He can elevate a lower title that's not the world title.
Right.
I mean, it's still good. I mean, Gunther did it, and I think Braun Breaker is doing it too. But it's just these top tiered guys can still fight for these IC title and still be good.
Now, I'm going to disagree with you on calling it a lower title, because the Intercontinental title, yes, it has always been referred to as sort of that stepping stone, that elevating, but it's also been the workhorse title. So, I mean, you look at the workhorses that put in the time for it: Miz, Cody, Seth Rollins, all of these guys who have elevated that title, Gunther, making it as prestigious as it is. So I don't really look at it as a lower title. I look at it as that elevation.
Yeah.
You get a good run and you can do something successful with that, then we're going to prime you for that title run. Now, I really hope, as I said earlier, I think we're going to get Jay and Sammy challenging Judgment Day at some point. So I don't think Jay needs to win the tournament. But at the same time, if you're going to put him in that number one contender spot, you've got to have him win the belt.
Yeah. I mean, and that would be an interesting, like I said, the IC title, there's a lot of opportunities out there for people. Who do you want to go against Braun Breaker? I mean, there's so many. I mean, he's fought several people so far, and destroyed many,
Well, as I alluded to earlier, I mean, you could have just as easily done another Elimination Chamber match with Pete Dunne, Sheamus, Kaiser, Jay, Ilya Dragunov, and then you put Braun Breaker in that and make it an Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Belt, or a ladder match.
That would be amazing. I'd love to see that happen the next time they do a Elimination Chamber. Do something with the IC title instead of the world title.
Right.
So yeah, I'm looking forward. Like I said, I've heard other that there's going to be another triple threat match also. Like I said, I think what's the one that Chris said?
He said Karrion, Kofi, and Jay.
And I've heard one that had Miz, Xavier, and I can't think of the third person, but I think it was going to be a triple threat and they were going to go for the. So I don't know.
I wonder if that would be Kaiser.
Might be Kaiser, yeah.
Or Dunn, or Paul Ellering.
Triple threat. No, yeah, triple.
Or do we get Dom put into that position?
Yeah, I don't. Do triple threat matches.
Well, it's Miz, Xavier, and Pete Dunne, according to Mr. Best.
There we go. Yeah. That's what Pete Dunne. That's what I was thinking.
And you know what? Out of this one, I would love to see Miz do it.
Yeah.
As much as I've put Pete Dunne into that category and that echelon of contenders, we discussed this last week, and I would love to see the Miz do it and get his 9th and tie for the most consecutive Intercontinental title reigns.
Oh, he would be tied?
He would be tied at 9 with Chris Jericho.
Ah. Wow. That'd be crazy. That'd be good.
Yeah, I thought he was tied at 9, so I wanted to see him get his 10th. And I would love to see him get that.
Wouldn't it be amazing if, like, say, this is like fantasy booking, and we're almost done, but I'm just fantasy booking. He gets the title, and then Jericho wants to return to WWE for his final run, and they have a match to see who can.
I would be all for it. And then lastly, we are going to get an update on the Terror Twins of Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest after the beatdown last week from the Judgment Day.
Yeah. The Terror Twins just can't handle the new Judgment Day. They are, like I said, they are now just broken since this new powerful Judgment Day is now in control.
Right. They are now the lovable underdogs. And I'm going to laugh if you're good, because I have a feeling that at some point you're also going to see Jey Uso team up with them. And despite the history, I think you'll see Sami Zayn.
I hope they come. I don't think they'll come up with a group name, though.
No, I don't either. But you could always call it Ripley's Aquarium.
Ripley's Aquarium. Oh, that's funny. So,
but no, I think seeing them as these baby faces now having the odds stacked against them, but knowing that they need to get some new friends and new allies, I think that with the way that things have been going with Jay versus Damian on the house show circuit, and even some of their backstage interactions, I think you definitely see Jay come up and join them.
Yeah, I could, and there's gonna be anything could happen, but yeah, depends on how they just keep on beating them down. I mean, I don't even know if Ripley and Priest will be there at Raw. They probably will to the go home show for their match. So,
see, and I don't think they will. I think they're probably already potentially headed over.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah.
So, anyways, we are in for what should be one wild ride of a Monday Night Raw tonight. And with that being said, Bulkster, where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me at The Bulkster Show on YouTube. And you can also find me on TikTok at The Bulkster Show. Come there and you can hear about my journeys and tribulations and some funny content and all sorts of things. And on YouTube, you'll find my gaming. Occasionally, I do some gaming on there. But yeah, you can always shoot me a message and I respond. But that's about it. How about you?
Well, for the people, they can find me on the Book of Faces, Daniel Hrycyk, Hrycyk. On Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on O, M, and D. On Discord at OMD6370, and on Twitch at OMD17. With that being said, from all of us here at the Boar's Nest, as we get ready to head over to the Raw Patrol, from all of us here at the Boar's Nest, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck, we're out. Where's my outro?
If I bleed tonight, if I accept tonight, I don't have the time to fight. If I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home, when I'm
All right. Well,